So depending on what the tariffs are and what countries are impacted on, I think that has the potential to add a fair amount of cost to our housing, which is just difficult because it's so much uncertainty right now.
As you know, President Trump has announced sweeping tariffs across the board, including some up to 145% on certain Chinese goods. Some home builders say it is hitting them hard, and they warn this could make housing even more expensive across the nation. Now some national organizations are fighting back. Katu's Noel Ford reports.
Either the price of the house goes up and the buyers can't afford to buy it, or the cost of the house goes up and the builder can't afford to build it.
You could soon see home prices rise even more. Many of President Donald Trump's proposed tariffs affect vital materials that home builders need. Justin Wood owns Fisher Construction here in the Northwest.
And then you've got some of your mechanical equipment, like your furnace and your water heater and things like that, that depending on the supplier and the manufacturer, have the potential to come from overseas.
The National Association of Home Builders is fighting back against these tariffs. CEO Jim Tobin says 7% of building materials came from overseas last year, and the 145% tariffs from China are hitting them the hardest.
Obviously, those Chinese tariffs, China is one of our largest, if not the largest trading partner we have when it comes to building materials. That's where the highest tariffs are right now. And we're just starting to see those come online with the products that are being shipped today into the United States.
The reason for the tariffs, President Donald Trump wants to see more domestic manufacturing.
You know, I want a fair deal with China, but China's been ripping us off for many years, so maybe something should be thought about, you know, a little bit of retribution.
One of Tobin's biggest concerns is another tariff on Canadian lumber. There's already a 14.5% tariff, but that number could increase to 35%. Tobin stresses that about 25% of lumber used in home building in the U.S. comes from Canada, and we don't make enough in the U.S. to keep up with production.
And specifically in the Pacific Northwest, really since the late 90s, we've shut down the infrastructure it takes to log on our national forest and the private forest in the Pacific Northwest. And because of that, we've seen a dramatic fall in the amount of timber that we produce in the United States and therefore the amount of lumber that we cut.
Tobin understands why the president wants to boost American production, but he says we're just not ready for that yet.
It's going to take a long time and a lot of investment. So until we do that, we need to make sure that we've got a good, fair trade with Canada.
Another issue, Tobin believes that American-made products are more expensive.
Well, I think we have strict environmental laws, strict labor laws. The cost of the wages in this country are much higher than in other developing countries or in countries like China in particular. So it is hard for us to compete overseas. That said, if there are ways to bring in production and create the workforce that we need to serve these industries that we want to increase, I think that's another component we haven't talked about. Where is the labor going to come?
The National Association of Home Builders says they hope the trade war ends before things get even more expensive. Noel Ford, K2 News.
Now, ports in the U.S. are already seeing fewer exports. CNBC reporting the Port of Portland tops the list with a 51% decrease, while the Port of Tacoma has seen a 28% decrease.